I got a star on my car and one on my chest, a gun on my hip and the right to arrest. I'm a guy who's a boss on this highway, so watch out what you're doing when you're driving my way. If you break the law, you'll hear from me. I know I'm working for the state.
All right, so by now you know we got the V-Strom back, and while it was gone, got some stuff, make riding a little bit better. And first thing is a set of Hiedenau tires. These are the trail wings. They got about 8,000 miles on them, 8,800, something like that, and they're pretty close to the wear bar, as close as I like to get to it. You can see these are a glorified sport bike tire. They're basically the same pattern as a sport bike tire. They're a little bit deeper ridges in them. You've seen me hit the terra firma a couple of times in deep sand, even though I had maybe 15-20 pounds of pressure in the tire. Didn't really help me out too much once that sand got to be, you know, 8-10 inches deep, riding in the washes. So it just got squirrely and didn't have any help to it. So we've gone to a Hiedenau tire. It's not like the D606s. It's not a you know, 10%, 90% street dirt tire or whatever, 2080 or whatever that is. They have a tendency to wear out a little bit quicker than I do. I do a little bit more long distance and then get to a trail kind of thing. These are seem to be all the rage with the GS crowd. Pretty good results. It's a block pattern, but this is specially designed. There's 2 or 3 levels to these. They make a little different pattern, same tire, different pattern for the smaller bikes. This is the largest rear. For heavier bike, they put a line right down the middle to keep it from chunking off and vibrating. Some of the problems that they had with the first K60s, and that's what it is. It's a K60 Scout Hiedenau. It's a German tire. Supposed to get probably anywhere, I've heard anywhere from 6,000 to 9,000 miles on it, which would be pretty comparable to that. Front tire is a same thing, K60 Scout, and a little bit less aggressive on the front, more of a short knobby kind of thing. Really hoping these work out pretty well. Not cheap, not cheap. It was about $340 for the set, which is probably about $100 more than you would pay for another set of trail wings, or definitely a lot more than what you would pay for you know, Shinko 705s or something like that. Very stiff sidewall, but a pretty nice looking tire. So we'll get these on today hopefully, and I'll show you the next thing. All right, the next deal is, this is a stock Suzuki windshield. It's at its lowest position. I'm not a huge fan of windshields. I know some guys like to have that big old piece of plexiglass in front of them. I'm old school. Man, if I could get it down to just a headlight, that's where I'd be at. So this is a Moose Racing dark tinted 4-inch under windscreen. So it drops about 4 inches, and that would be right where the lowest setting would be. More air over the bike. I don't mind the air hitting me in the chest, and you know, it gets more air to the vents on your helmet. So and onto your gear. So this is where it'll be. We'll do a little shot of the whole thing when we're complete. So this is what the Hiedenau's look like installed. That gives the bike a little bit more of an aggressive look. Front tire, not terribly so much, but makes it stand a little bit taller. I think they're a stiffer tire, a little taller tire, even though they're the same size. And here's that shorter windscreen. That makes it look a little bit different, a little darker now. Whole bike in general, but that was what we did today.
Well, you know me when you see me, 'cause my door's painted white, with my siren screaming and my flashing red light.
All right, we're going to try our first test ride with the new tires. So this is the very first ride with them. First thing I noticed right off, they are definitely stiffer. I think that's why everybody complains about them right off, is they definitely have a stiffer sidewall, and you can tell that when you're putting them on. They're definitely a bugger to get on. So these are the Hiedenau K60 Scouts. They're billed as a adventure bike, large adventure bike, probably maybe not a 50-50 tire, but a 60-40 tire, something like that. Pretty high marks with them. The guys that ride the GS's, I've seen quite a few people on V-Stroms using them. They were really tough to get at one time, but you're starting to see them on Revzilla, and I don't know if Chaparral had them. I even forget where I got them from. But they're supposed to get probably about 10,000 out of the front tire, maybe even more. Sorry about the sun in your eyes. And the rear gets about, they're saying right around 8,000-9,000 out of the rear. I've heard reports of the front tire going as far as 14,000 miles, and some folks, rare occasions, I've heard like 10,000 out of the rear. I don't want to go too nutty. They just, I mean, they literally just got put on this afternoon. I want to make sure they got a chance to seat in a little bit. I've also got my Moose Racing windshield on. And we're only going 30, but it's a little bit more air on the helmet, and you can feel it right about chest level, which is good because it's actually pushing air through the vents. Watch out there, kid. Come on.
take a little run up the highway here, see what's like at highway speed. Not too bad. There were some complaints of singing down the highway, you know, real noisy on the highway. And I think that was the first generation of these tires. And since then, I mentioned it before I put them in, that they put a solid rib down the center of the tire. So if I ever get into any rain, it'll be interesting to see how that central rib is going to react. The size I'm running is I think it's 110 80 19 on the front and 150 70 17 on the rear. The 150 is the widest they make in a rear tire. They make it in both 17 and 18. And of course they make it in all the dirt bike sizes too. The smaller sizes don't have the rib down the middle. Well, first impressions on the Hiedenau K60 Scouts is they're pretty good on the road. A little bit stiffer ride. But all in all my concerns that I read about don't seem to be a big deal. We'll see how they are as they wear in. So thanks for watching. I'm happy to have the V-Strom back.
I work all day and I work all night just to keep a law and order, trying to do what's right. If I write you out a ticket, then you better drive slow. I'm just doing my job on the highway patrol.